This is The Clash, where the real world clashes with a true Christian worldview. Join former professional wrestler Chris Whaley, known as the Masked Saint, who is an author, pastor, and teacher that brings his wrestling skills into the squared circle and tackles real-life issues. Along with Jeff Dixon, best-selling author, internationally known teacher, leader, and pastor who is not afraid to tackle the tough issues of the world we live in. Together they form a tag team of wisdom in The Clash.
Hi, welcome to The Clash, where we take a Christian worldview and allow it to clash into the culture around us. And when we're done, hopefully, we create a moment, 2, maybe even 3, where we educate, entertain, enlighten, and make your day just a little bit better. I'm Jeff Dixon. I get to sit in this chair because the guy next to me says it's okay.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who we're going to get on his back and he's going to carry us for the next couple of minutes. He is the one, the only, Chris Whaley. We call him the Saint. And Chris, how you doing today?
Excellent. You know, it's been a while since we've interviewed professional wrestlers, and so we got a good one on today.
Okay.
And Dangerous Danny Spivey.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, some people are going to remember that name.
Yep.
And if not, they're going to get to know him better.
Yep.
All right.
After this break.
All right.
Jeff, we got some dead air time. What are you doing?
Chris, I'm looking at the Church at 434 app. It's an incredible app. It's absolutely free. And you can watch us, you can watch video, you can get resources for your walk and your journey of faith, and it's absolutely free. Just go to the Church at 434 and your app store, Google Play, and just download it and join us online all the time.
Beat that. Hey, Jeff, today our next guest has lived a life that most people, I think, could only imagine. He went from the football field to the bright lights of professional wrestling, competing against many of the biggest names in the business. He has entertained fans all around the world. And whether you knew him as one half of the American Starship, or Golden Boy Danny Spivey, or the unforgettable Waylon Mercy, he left a lasting impression on professional wrestling. But perhaps his greatest story didn't happen inside the squared circle, because today he is a man of faith. He is an accomplished author. He is someone who isn't afraid to tell the truth about the highs and the lows and the lessons that he's learned along the way in his powerful, powerful book, The Dangerous Truth. So, Jeff, please help me welcome Danny Spivey.
Dangerous Danny Spivey. Good to meet you. Glad you're here.
Nice. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited about this.
Well, Danny, let's start at the beginning. How did a football player end up becoming a professional wrestler?
Well, I was a fan for years of professional wrestling. When I was in high school and stuff, I used to go to the matches, and I was a mark for the business. But before I got into the business, after my football career was over, I had already lived a life of total chaos for about 12 years before. I didn't get into business till I was 34. So that's when most guys are thinking about retirement. So I just, I had a lot of things happen to me during my football years of not getting treated right by the University of Georgia, and caused me all kind of problems with my leg, to the fact that I couldn't run to be as good at football as I should have been and could have been.
Now, your wrestling career, and again, if I may have this wrong, but you started in Tampa, and you started training with Dusty Rhodes, is that right?
Yes. I met Dusty in a bar, a country western bar, and he asked me if I wanted to be a wrestler. I said, sure, I'd love to. And it started there in Tampa, and there he got the booking job in Charlotte. So me and Scott Hall went to Charlotte with him. and we about starved to death. And Harley Race had come to town and got to talking to Harley, and Harley says, "Why don't you come out to Kansas City and work for me?" And we said, "Oh yeah," because we weren't doing anything in Charlotte. They didn't even have a ring there for us to work out on. They had us taking bumps on a little mat in a warehouse or something. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a ring. I know that. And so me and Scott loaded up. We went to Kansas City, and we go walk in, and who are you guys? And we said, "Well, we're here. Harley told us to come here. He put us to work. And Harley's not here. He's in Japan. Because you guys have some pretty good size. We'll give you a shot here." And we didn't see Harley for 6 months. Anyway, we drove about 3,000 miles for $200, and a 6-pack of beer. And, that was the end of, I think, the beginning of the end for territories and stuff, because right after that, first WrestleMania happened in 82 or 83, somewhere there. And the small territories were basically put out of business. And so, but I was very fortunate that Ricky Steamboat took a liking to me. And I ended up leaving Kansas City by myself. Scott stayed in Kansas City. I went back to Charlotte because Dusty told me he'd put me to work, which he didn't. But luckily, Ricky Steamboat had worked out with me a few times. And the booker was a good friend of Ricky's. I can't think of his name right now, but I got into the WWF, it was WWF back then, because of Ricky. So I owe Ricky Steamboat a lot. And anyway, that's how I got my start. Went in there as Golden Boy. Bobby, Barry Wyndham quit. I was another tall guy with blonde hair, so they put me with Mike Rotondo, who owe a lot to him too. He taught me and coached me and took care of me. So I had some luck with some people taking a liking to me. That's how I got started.
I remember, I've been a wrestling fan all my life, and so watched, as a kid growing up, I'd watch any kind of wrestling that was ever on TV. And I could have this wrong, I remember you, I believe, in a tag team called the Skyscrapers. Is that right?
Yeah, me and Big Sid, Sid Vicious and I were the Skyscrapers.
Okay.
And then Sid got hurt, and Mark Calloway came in, and who later became the Undertaker, which you all know. But yeah, we were the Skyscrapers. We had battles with the Steiner brothers and the Road Warriors, and it was a shame because they never did anything with us. They beat us all the time, and we could have been really popular and really big if they just put us in an angle where we won once in a while, and the people would have some doubt that the Skyscrapers could beat the Road Warriors or the Steiner brothers, but it never happened. So I went back.
I remember.
It was a good team. It really was.
Yeah.
Well, you worked with, and you've already named some legendary names, but was there one opponent that always brought the best out of you? Somebody that you worked with that brought the best out of you?
Yeah, there was a couple of them. Dr. Dusty Williams, he was. We had a bunch of battles in Japan together. Terry Gordy, was another good. We had some tag team matches, me and Stan Hansen against Doc and Terry, that were just legendary. They really were. Yeah. And I really enjoyed those guys. And if I could have done it all over, I would have never came back to the States. I would have stayed in Japan like Stan did and Brody, those guys, because they took care of me over in Japan. There was no politics, no BS. You just go out there and beat hell out of each other, and better people got better pay, and they did it the right way. Wasn't no sneaking around and doing shady things that happen in the business.
Yeah, right.
Chris mentioned this earlier when he was in his introduction, but tell me how this whole Waylon Mercy character came about. Where did that come from?
Well, Jerry Briscoe had called me and told me that Vince wanted me to come in, and I met with him, and we were talking, and I brought the idea of a character based off of a movie called Cape Fear with Robert De Niro. And I told him that I could pull that off, and they liked the idea. Vince came up with a name, though, which is very good. Waylon Mercy was just a great name, and that was a great character. First time I got to be somebody other than Dan Spivey. In my entire career, I was Dangerous Dan Spivey, Golden Boy Dan Spivey, but I never got to be somebody different. And I really enjoyed that. It was something that came natural to me. I was brought up in the South, and I knew a lot of shady South people that could con you to death. I mean, you know, and it was just an easy character for me to do.
Yeah.
Well, the character too, as I remember, I mean, the character as he spoke, it was that slow, cordial, Southern style. And in the ring, you were mean. You mean as a snake. And then after it was over with, you would just be so nice at the end. And it was I mean, the way you brought the character to life was absolutely amazing. How much was that you freelancing, and did they give you the freedom to do that, or was somebody kind of behind the scenes kind of guiding you toward that?
There was no help. It was just winging it. And,
okay.
One thing really worked. I don't know if y'all remember it, but I was talking, and all of a sudden a caterpillar was crawling on my arm, and I smashed it. And people just, you know, and just talk about that all the time. And the caterpillar just helped me out. That's all I can say.
I love it.
Oh my goodness! Well,
I snapped that spider, squished it, and caterpillar, and I said, "Lives of old buddy, and Waylon Mercy's hands." You know what I mean? And that just stuck. So whenever I did anything, I just, you know what I mean? And I heard it in the dressing room all the time. It just drove me crazy, actually. You know, everybody's going around saying, "You know what I mean?" You know. So anyway, that's how that happened.
Well, there's a lot of people that have said that Waylon Mercy actually influenced future wrestling characters. I mean, that's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does. You know, it's just funny. Mike Rotondo, who helped me tremendously in the beginning of my career, his son came to me and asked me if it would be all right if he did something off the character that I did, Waylon Mercy. I said, "Man, you have my blessing, all the things that your dad had done for me." I said, "Anything I can do to help you." And we talked, and he did a terrific job. He really did. You know, I thought that maybe, you know, that the WWE would bring me in as a manager or work me in there some way or another, because everybody knew where he came up with the character was from me, and but they never did. So anyway, Waylon Mercy could have been great. I just couldn't pull it off. You know, I couldn't work the way that I wanted to, and I had a great reputation as being someone to work, you know, and protected the business. I just couldn't pull it off because of the injuries and the painkillers, and it was just, I just couldn't do it, and I wasn't going to embarrass myself in the ring, so I had to give it up.
Yeah. Well, your book is called The Dangerous Truth. Why did you pick that title?
Because I told the truth about my life. You know, everything in there is true. And, you know, it's stuff that I wasn't, you know, fond of or liked. It was pretty ugly, a lot of it. And I wrote the book because if Dan Spivey could do it, anybody can do it as far as getting sober. I got sober at 56 years old. I thought my life was over. And since I've been sober now for 17 years, I've had the life that just gets better and better and better and better. And I just hope this book can help somebody the way the life that I have. And it's awesome.
That's great.
I'm very grateful God had a plan for me.
Yeah. Hi. Just want to ask you a question. This is an important question. Have you been to the Clash store yet? You don't even know there is a Clash store? Where have you been? Follow the links that you see right now and visit the Clash store. You can get all sorts of Clash gear. You can get coffee mugs. You can get tumblers. You can get those fancy cups that keep things hot and keep things cold. We have all of that, but not just that. We have gear, we have hoodies, we have shirts, we have sports shirts, we have t-shirts, we have anything and everything that you need to let folks know that you are involved in the Clash. You're taking your Christian worldview and you're allowing it to clash into the culture around you. And so, support the show, support this ministry, take time to visit the Clash store today. Let's talk a little about that God journey. How did your life get to that point where all of a sudden you come face to face with Jesus and things start to change?
Yeah, that was a great moment. There at the end, I was just trying to kill myself. You know, I was and I wasn't. You know, I ended up in a deal on a weekend where I ran out of drugs and I ran out of alcohol, and it was on a weekend. I said, all I got to do is make it till Monday, and I can go to the doctor and get the drugs that I need and stuff. And I wasn't a very smart drug addict because I didn't know that if detoxing off alcohol and Xanax and Valium that it could kill you. And I just had a weekend there and I thought I could do it, and it didn't work. I lost control of my legs coming back from the bathroom. I fell on the floor. I couldn't walk. I was able to pull the phone down and call my brother and call the hospital. And my brother came and he got the paramedics there and they took me to the hospital. For some reason or another, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and I wasn't able to communicate to them because I didn't know what was going on either. I was totally out of my head. So they gave me some more pain pills and sent me home. Well, my brother came back a couple of days later, and I was in the bed, and he says, Daniel, what are you doing? I said, I got a hole in my head. He says, what do you mean you have a hole in your head? He pulled the blankets back, and the .45 was sitting in the bed, cock locked and loaded. And that really freaked him out. He called the hospital again. They took me back to the hospital, and they got me in ICU. No one knew what was wrong with me. I wasn't able to communicate, but I escaped out of intensive care and made it to the parking lot. And I was running around half naked, had long hair, beard, and blood coming out of both arms, looking for cigarettes. So they found me and put me back in the hospital. I escaped again, doing the same thing. And this time when they brought me back, they strapped me down. And I woke up and there was a preacher that I knew, but one of the boys that I was real close with, he brought his pastor from the church and brought the deacons. And what they did, I was strapped in a bed and they were circling me and they were laying hands on me and praying. And I think that had a lot to do with me changing my mind on what I wanted to do. And that was killing myself. And things changed after that. Luckily, the WWE had a program that if you ever signed a contract with them, they would take care of you for drugs and alcohol and send you to rehab. Well, I'd already been to rehab like 3 times and it didn't work. But this time they sent me to a place out in Houston, the Menninger Clinic. It's a lockdown facility. They were known for people with brain damage and mental illness. Because they thought that I had damaged my brain. And I was there and I was sitting in a room all by myself. It was a padded room, and the nurse told me, Dan, it's not your fault that you're a drug addict. but it's your responsibility to take care of it. And that just kind of resonated with me, and I just had this thing happen to me that changed my life. It was the fact that, you know, I could right all the wrongs that I've done in my life by getting sober and doing the right thing and share my story with everybody. And that was the turning point, was that time in the miniature clinic, and the laying of hands, the preacher, and that nurse at the clinic. And, you know, since then, I've been able to lead a life that I never could ever imagine of living, you know, and it's just been awesome. It really has, and it's been great. I don't know what to say about it other than that. You know, God had a plan.
He did.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, sir.
what is the dangerous truth that people most need to hear today?
You know, I was a con artist. I was a pimp. I ran drugs. I collected money for people who did that kind of work. I mean, you know, I did everything that you could imagine, and I lived through it. And hopefully, my story, people can see what I used to do, and the things that I'm doing now to try and help people. You know, it's a 360.
Yeah.
You have a background in wrestling. Are you still a wrestling fan today? I mean, what do you think about the industry as it is today? Because it's changed a lot.
You know, I wasn't for a long time, but recently I wrote the book and stuff. I've gotten back into it. My wife, number 6, who is a keeper, by the way, she's sitting there giving an eye. She worked for Vince for 22 years.
Okay.
And so we know a lot of the same people, and you know, you can't help being associated with the WWE and not be a fan. And I've gotten to know some of the guys, and you know, it's been fun. It's been fun. I've been going to these conventions and stuff. We're going this week to SummerSlam, and you know, we're looking forward to it. They have these conventions where people come and see the old timers and stuff, hopefully sign some books and some autographs, and get to talk to the people, and hopefully go to the match and watch them work. It's a lot different. I couldn't do what they do now. There's no way. You know, they kind of gotten away from the guys that are 6'6", 6'7", 300 pounds. They do a lot of gymnastic stuff, and I just couldn't do it. I mean, a lot of them are pretty small guys that can do triple somersaults and dive over the ring. But, you know, it's just going to be a matter of time for somebody who really gets hurt bad. You know, it's just, but people are buying tickets and they're selling out everywhere, so it must be working.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you've experienced fame, success, and disappointment, but what has God taught you through all of it? If there's one lesson that God's taught you.
Well, I guess one thing is to love myself. I mean, you know, I hated myself for so long and stuff, but the main person I had to have forgiveness from was myself, and to learn how to love. If you don't love yourself, how in the hell can you love somebody else? You know, and you know, I just I don't know. Other than that, I just I'm very happy, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing now. You know?
Dan, if you're going to, I have a son who is been spending this week that we're recording in a pro wrestling camp as a high school kid. If they would invite you in to speak, I mean, what would you tell these young guys who are trying to figure out how to do things and whether or not they want to get into the business and the industry? What's your advice for them?
Pick another career.
Okay, well, that's good. That's very good advice. Yeah.
You know, it's really very competitive. I mean, it's you know, today they're paying these guys to work out and to train, and you know, it's just unbelievable. I mean, they make good money just by training and having the best equipment, the best coaches and stuff. But there's only a few people that make it. It's a tough industry. It's a tough business.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to be a special person to make it. You got to be able to talk on the mic, and you got to be able to entertain and do things the right way. You have some great teachers. It's a great experience, but it's very, very competitive, and you have to be lucky to make it, really.
Yeah. Well, what do you hope readers will take away after finishing The Dangerous Truth?
Well, I hope it. If you have a problem or you know somebody who has a problem, you can read the book and see where things that Dan Spivey overcame and conquered and changed his life. There's hope. There's a lot of hope, and you can do it. If Dan did it at 56 years old, and you're in your 20s, gosh, what a life you could have. You know, my life for the last 17 years, I could never imagine it being as good as it is.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, buddy, we can't tell you how much we really appreciate your time. And I haven't read your book yet, but I'm going to, and I hope other people will give it a look. And we just can't thank you enough for being on our show. And Jeff, you got anything else?
I love the fact that you just left it with hope, because again, you know, that's Jesus gives us hope. You've discovered it. We preach it all the time, and so that's we need that today. And so thank you for that. It's great to meet you, and thanks for being on The Clash.
Yep.
Thank you guys for having me. And you know, there's a chance if I Dan Spivey did it, you know, somebody who has a problem with drugs and alcohol and they want to change their life, have them read the book.
Okay.
Deal.
We'll do that. God bless you, buddy.
God bless y'all. Thanks for having me.
During this break, I want to ask you a question, Chris. Tell us and our audience how you came to know Christ.
You know, Jeff, I was not born into a Christian family. Like 6 years before, my mom was a Jehovah's Witness. I actually came to know the Lord my freshman year of college. And at that point, I'm not going to get into it, but I had really done a lot of things to mess up my life. And I love that passage from Jeremiah 18:1-6, because, you know, God told the prophet to go to the potter's house. He'd teach him a great lesson. And when he went there, the clay was messed up, but he put it back on the wheel. And that's the story of my life. When I had messed up my life, God took me, put me back on the wheel, and he made me into a new vessel. And that was the day that things changed in my life, when I gave my life to Christ.
Wow. All right. That's a break worth listening to. We want to just share again where we ended the interview, and that's with the message of hope.
Message of hope.
And so really want you to check out the book, you know, take the time, and by all means, if you know someone that's got a problem, don't be afraid to love them enough to say something and intervene.
Right.
It was a good interview, a lot of fun. And again, a legend that we get to meet and introduce folks to, and so hopefully they'll connect with him.
Yep. You know, I love it that we serve the God of a second chance. And you might be watching this and you're thinking that your life is, you know, going down the drain. And we have good news for you, because there's hope. We serve the God of a second chance, and he can do that for you. So give him a chance to do that for you, and don't tap out.